Winter, 1942. Near a secret military compound deep in Manchuria, a Japanese soldier patrols alone under the pale moonlight. Suddenly, something moves. A dark figure staggering through the stalks. Eyes wide, mouth torn, skin peeling like old paint. The soldier plunges his bayonet deep into the creature's chest, but it doesn't fall. Bullets tear through blackened flesh, but it keeps coming. He runs and vows never to speak of what he saw. In the winter of 1942, a village in Manchuria vanished without a sound. No soldiers, no survivors. Only rumors of bodies that moved after death and fires that couldn't burn them still. Decades later, even the trees won't grow where the village once stood. What happened there was never written down, but someone kept the records, and they had a number for it. Unit 731. Unit 731 was a covert biological and chemical warfare research facility operated by the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II. Located in Pingfang, Manchuria, it disguised itself as a water purification plant. But beneath the surface, it was a hellscape where thousands of prisoners, Chinese civilians, Allied POWs, and others were subjected to horrific experiments. The unit was led by General Shiro Ishii, a microbiologist driven by a dark vision, weaponizing disease and manipulating life and death in the name of war. Experiments ranged from freezing limbs to studying plague infection, often performed without anesthesia or mercy. Japan was not alone in this pursuit. Across the globe, the horrors of biological and chemical warfare unfolded on multiple fronts. In Nazi Germany, brutal human experimentation was carried out at places like Dachau and Auschwitz. Scientists tested chemical weapons and nerve agents such as sarin and tabun, developed by the Luftwaffe as part of a deadly arms race. Meanwhile, the United States established its own biological weapons research center at Fort Detrick, Maryland, testing anthrax, botulinum toxin, and other agents as potential weapons. And the Soviet Union operated secret programs that evolved into biopreparat, one of the largest and most secretive biological weapons initiatives in history. All these programs involved unimaginable human suffering, forced experiments, weaponizing diseases, and crossing ethical lines never meant to be breached. Among the many atrocities of Unit 731, one experiment stands out: a terrifying attempt to create bioweapons from the walking dead. Survivors, Soviet interrogations, and Chinese witnesses tell chilling stories of men and women who died but refused to stay dead. Blackened skin, twisted and frozen in unnatural positions, eyes wide open but vacant. Subjects were injected with neurotoxins, plague bacteria, and other deadly pathogens to study nerve and muscle response. Some were vivisected alive, their bodies twitching involuntarily even as surgeons cut into them. Electrical shocks were applied post-mortem, forcing movement and unholy mimicry of life. These were not zombies in the folkloric sense, no magic, only science gone monstrously wrong. Victims were cruelly nicknamed Maruta, meaning logs, dehumanized, treated as mere test objects. One witness from a nearby village described seeing a man with his chest caved in, staggering through snow, skin blackened and eyes rolled back. Medical records, partially destroyed or hidden, hint at programs codenamed Black Vein and Project Resurrection. Experiments tested tetaospasmin toxins, plague infections, rabies virus, and botulinum toxins, each producing horrifying symptoms. Frozen muscles locked in painful spasms, blackened, rotting flesh, violent seizures and madness, bodies twitching with no control. Victims were often deliberately infected with multiple diseases, then monitored as their bodies broke down, but refused to stop moving. After Japan's surrender in 1945, the horrific truth about Unit 731 slowly emerged. During the 1949 Khabarovsk war crime trials, Soviet prosecutors detailed biological weapons tests on living humans, including plague and anthrax. But the war's end did not bring justice. Many Unit 731 members escaped prosecution, granted immunity by the United States in exchange for their research data. This dark bargain mirrored what happened with Nazi scientists, many of whom were brought to the US under Operation Paperclip to aid Cold War research. Meanwhile, the Soviet bioweapons program continued in secret, expanding and evolving through the Cold War decades. The horrors of these programs, spanning multiple nations, were buried beneath layers of secrecy and political expediency. Unit 731's atrocities remain largely unacknowledged by Japan. The Pingfang facility is now a museum, but few visit, and fewer still learn the full story. The legacy of biological warfare did not end with World War II. Bioweapons research quietly continued, sometimes openly, often in the shadows, by global powers. Rumors persist of secret laboratories across the world, Germany, Russia, the United States, where experiments with nerve agents, genetic engineering, and deadly pathogens continue. The true extent of these programs remains classified, hidden behind government walls and secrecy. How far will humanity go in the name of war and power? What monsters are still being born in the darkness? The village that disappeared overnight may be gone, but the nightmare it began is far from over. The future remains uncertain, haunted by the shadows of experiments past and unknown terrors still lurking in the present. If you ever hear a knock beneath your floor, remember, some doors are better left closed.